What do you see as the thrust for the president of this trip?
Well, I think the thrust of the president's trips is strictly politics. He's running around the country, and I believe he should be here in Washington trying to help us solve some of the problems of the day, like the budget problems. Perhaps get in a dialogue with us on this piece of legislation that you just referenced. But he's off somewhere else. He should be here.
Tell me something. Why are Republicans and why is Wall Street so against this appointment and this consumer watchdog agency? Isn't it a good idea to have somebody looking out for consumers and making sure that banks and credit cards don't allow fraud against people?
First, Martha, let me set the record straight. I don't believe Wall Street is against this. Wall Street, I was involved in the legislation when we were dealing with it last year. But Wall Street never really had a real strong voice against the consumer agency. This is a myth that the president's talking about. What we're talking about is Main Street. This is going to affect Main Street. It's going to affect small businesses, small bankers, and everything else. This is one of the worst pieces of legislation that's been passed in the last years here in Washington.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it? I can tell you there are many things wrong with it, thousands of pages, but I can tell you three. One, it has no accountability to it. You create a monster here that is a regulator with no accountability, a self-funding source, and nothing in there to deal when they come forth with regulations to take in consideration safety and soundness. We got a lot of banks in bad shape in this country. We need jobs. We don't need regulations. It's going to stifle the creation of jobs. What this nomination's about today, Mr. Cordray, as far as I know, is probably a nice man and so forth. But on the other hand, he's caught up in something bigger than this. We have offered the president three things, and he hasn't gotten back with us to try to change some of this legislation to improve it, because some of it's good, but three or four pieces of it needs to go.
I think people have a lot of doubts about whether or not any agency can sort of prevent the kind of fraud that is brought upon people. When you look at Madoff and you look at the SEC, nobody was ever fired in the SEC for not doing their job and not following up, and they visited Madoff 3 times, not to bring, but when you look at the larger financial institution picture, the government has not been overly successful at protecting people, is my point.
I think you're absolutely right. You can regulate the economy to death. And this is what we would do here. We would have a czar here with no accountability. But let me go a step farther here. The CFTC is a big regulator over derivatives and things like that. A lot of securities that trade as derivatives. Where were they recently in the loss of $1.2 billion? It's missing. Where's the regulator here? We want some answers to that before we go down the road to say we're going to create more regulations. What we need is jobs in this country, not regulations that make no sense, that will stifle the economy.
All right. Senator Shelby, thank you very much for talking to us today. It's an important issue, and the president's going to be speaking about it quite a bit in the coming days and today in Kansas as well. So glad to hear your side of it, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See which way that goes. Watching Wall Street quickly just to see what's happening overseas and how that reflects on us right now. Up about 21, 22 points right now. So hang on, it's early, but we're above 12,000.
Yes.
So hey, it's a nice day.